Outbound prospecting today is getting harder. Data is noisy and generic outreach just doesn't work anymore. So the real question is, how do you scale quality research without spending hours on single lead? That's where a tool like Claude comes in. Today I'm going to show you how Claude can actually improve your prospecting game. Now, with its deep research capabilities and tool integrations, you can scale your research effort significantly while still keeping your outreach thoughtful and relevant. And just to be clear, this is not about, say, replacing manual research. Manual thinking is still the foundation of this all. Claude simply helps you move faster, go deeper, and uncover insights that you would otherwise miss. Before we jump into the tool, let's quickly understand the process we'll be following. So, when I talk about the starting point, we start by aggregating, say, raw leads from multiple sources. The options that we get using Claude are either connecting with tools like Clay or doing web search or connecting with our Gmail where we have already, say, reached out to our leads. Now, all this gets fed into a centralized lead pool. Once, say, the lead pool is ready, we move on to the next step, that is enriching it with meaningful data, like, say, the company level enrichment, which might include funding details, team size, or contact enrichment that might have, say, finding of verified email IDs or their job roles. Then we can even add buying signals. Now, this helps you move from basic list to a high context prospects. Now, we know that not all leads are equal, so we need to prioritize them. So, we do that by assigning scores based on ICP fit, buying intent signals, and relevance to the offerings. And the output that we get is a ranked high quality prospect list. Now, there is just one simple here before we start with the reach outs, that is the research part, wherein what we do is we do prospect research or check ICP fitment scores, and this steps ensures that the outreach is personalized and not generic. Now, when we talk about this entire process, the starting point before actually starting on Claude is to understand who we are targeting. The reason for this is because Claude is only as good as the inputs that you give. So what we have done is that we're going to take two use cases today. One is people search and second is company level search. When I talk about the people search, that's when we are taking an example that, say, we are a learning solution provider for corporates and we want to target head, VP or director of learning and development in companies that are into manufacturing, BFSI, pharma or chemical that are based in India, and the company size that we are targeting is 1000 to 10,001 plus. So this over here is our first criteria. Now what I will do is that I'll now go on to Claude and put in a prompt of finding 10 high fit prospects. So as you can see over here, what I've done is I've just simply told Claude that I'm selling learning solutions to whom. Okay, so that is the head of, say, learning and development at large manufacturing companies. So large over here identifies the company size for me. And what I've asked it to do is to give me a list of 10 prospects after enriching them, researching each one and giving it in a table format. So what it does is it first starts with calling the Clay tool. Now to integrate Clay, what needs to be done is you need to go to the customization section over here. You need to click on connect your apps. You can search for Clay or any other tool that you want to integrate. For our use case today, we are integrating with Clay, that is right here. And when you connect, it will ask you to sign in onto Clay and the connection will be created. Now, say once we have all of this in place, the connection is created. And when we talk about, say, finding the prospects, so what Clay does is based on that parameters, it first starts by identifying companies that can be targeted and the people that might belong to that particular department. So as you can see, it has given me multiple company names over here along with the people that work in the L&D department. Now, once that is done, what it is giving me a complete consolidated list of heads of L&D in those companies, along with explaining why it's a high fit. So the criteria that I gave it initially was that I need to target just head of learning and development. So it is doing a fitment test based on that. Next, say for example, I have the name of the people, I have their details. But what I actually want to see, if I want to make certain alignment, is I want to see what are the sort of learning initiatives that they have conducted in their journey. So what I further asked it to do is to research and enrich specifically what are the learning initiatives that they have conducted. And I've asked it or given it a source to check that. That is, say, their LinkedIn bio. Again, Clay starts by analyzing those profiles and gives me that complete output in this format, in a table format, wherein it highlights what are the key L&D initiatives and programs that they have conducted and what has been their focus area throughout their journey in that company. So this gives me an idea as to if I want to connect with them or if I want to pitch about my learning solutions with them, then this is a positioning angle that I can take. For example, if someone has focused their entire journey or recent initiatives towards AI-based learning solutions, so I can pitch something on those lines. And finally, to get the complete enriched data, what I have asked it to do is to fetch their verified email IDs. And this is how I am able to get a complete data set of well researched leads along with their contact details. So you can even enrich their contact numbers over here using any other tool or using Clay itself. And that's wherein you have your list ready. So this was one example. Now, say for example, we want to do company level research. So this is our second use case, wherein the idea over here is that consider that I am selling or I am a loan aggregator platform and I am looking for lenders, that is NBFCs in India that I want to target. Now, there is no specific filter anywhere on any platform that writes NBFCs, that's non-banking financial services, because it is clubbed into financial services. So when I'm setting my ICP criteria, it's going to be financial services as an industry. Location, I want India. Company size, it doesn't matter to me at this point. So I'm keeping it as open. And the only criteria that matters to me is that that company should offer business loans. So again, what I've done is I've gone to Claude and I've given it a prompt that I'm looking for partnering with NBFCs in India that offers a business loans for my loan aggregator platform. Now, if you see in this prompt as well as in the previous prompt, I have clearly defined as to what am I doing, whether I'm looking for a partnership, whether I'm looking for selling my product or services. The reason why we do this is to give context to Claude as to when it comes to building that particular list, what is the angle that it needs to think on. Now, again, since I have two additional criterias, or if I have an additional criteria that I want to target, in this case, say I want to understand what are the financial products that they are selling and also understand what is their AUM. So I've asked it to create that entire list. Now, instead of using Claude over here, what it has done is it has used the web search to create that list of 5 NBFCs. So right here, I have my 5 NBFCs along with what all products are they offering and their AUM. Further, say once this is done, what I want to do is I want to start by targeting head of partnerships or CXOs in these companies. So that's wherein I'll ask it to use Clay. So whenever using Claude for prospecting, what you need to understand is when do you need a tool to come in and when do you work with web search. So in this case, say I have used Clay for finding the prospects in those companies, and finally I have that entire list of prospects created over here. Now, you see, I have not explicitly told it to give me in a table format, so it has just given me in this particular format. So again, since I want it in a particular format, what I need to do is I need to ensure that I am prompting Claude to give me in that particular format. So again, I asked it to do that, and I finally have my prospect data right here. So to wrap this up, we need to understand that Claude is not just another AI tool. If used correctly, it becomes your research copilot. It helps you in terms of, say, thinking better, targeting smarter, and personalizing deeper. And one thing we need to remember is that the goal is not to automate the entire thing, but the goal is to get better results. And when we combine tools like Clay with Claude, then prospecting truly becomes scalable. So if you found this useful, I'll be sharing more workflows, more videos on this. So stay tuned for that. And thank you so much for watching this video.